How's it going, everybody? This is MegaShadowFist, and welcome back to Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations, Thursday edition. Unfortunately, I won't be able to record this on my usual Friday slot because I'll be busy. I've been having a lot of Thursday recording sessions as of late, but unlike the Wednesday recording sessions, at least I got to edit the previous episode before recording this. But anyway, when we last left off, we accused Luke at me of being the real murderer. We got through a few things, and now we're going to start the next cross-examination. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hit continue. And from save point, here we go. I believe that this should be the last section of this trial, of this case in general. So I believe that we should actually finish the case in this recording session. I think so. Anyway. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed. It seemed that they had heard of my sparkling reputation. I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. Why can I not read? You'd better watch out too, Maya. Normally, in the beginning of the recording session, I can read a lot better than this, but whatever. The urn was placed in a box, and Svarty! It was then sent to the warehouse. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. And she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Huh. Interesting new tidbit. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. Let's look at this. The urn was placed in a box in Svati. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. So, you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security is focused entirely on the entrance to the warehouse. However, I, Luke Atme, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. You mean this calling card? That's right! That is, without a doubt, my calling card. I guess Mr. Light didn't make this after all. Of course, because Atme knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play to him. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. Then no one entered the basement warehouse. Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM on October 12th. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much. Hey, Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Atme might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. I need to take a good hard look at the court record. Not a lot to go on, is there? That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Alright then, how do we do that? There's one thing that Atme stated very clearly. That he had never seen the urn before he stole it. We need to prove that he's lying. Alright. So let's go over everything again before we start presenting evidence. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. We know that to be correct. The urn was placed in a box in Svati. It was then sent to the warehouse. Let's check our court record. Okay, urn box. A wooden box that had the sacred urn in it. Has pink stains on it. Broken and repaired by Adrian Andrews to play. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's true, though. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. Okay. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 AM on October 12th. Okay, so this one is so specific that I feel like this is what we need to present evidence for, but Let's see, I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. Would the treasure exhibit poster work? Like, I don't think this would work though, because like, even if you saw this, this wouldn't count as like seeing it for yourself, right? Like, if you saw like a picture of the Mona Lisa, you wouldn't say, I've seen the Mona Lisa for myself. Post, touch the check button for details. Damask calling card. Let's go ahead and check this. I'll be coming to retain the most priceless work of the art on display in your treasure of Kudai exhibit. Take good care of the speckled urn, won't you? Now, what exactly does he mean by speckled? Let's present this. Okay, it worked. Mr. Atme, if you really are Master Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course! Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true, but so what? Truth be told, there is no way that Master Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got onto the urn. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it, he's broken. Nick? I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? Oh boy. Huh. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Let's go ahead and save, because we haven't saved since 1972, also known as 8 minutes ago. Well, actually, we didn't even really save 8 minutes ago. We saved, I guess, 6 days ago, but, you know, the last save was, you know, a point that we started 8 minutes ago. Anyway, it's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Master Mask. And now, we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way! Don't vote for that too, Your Honor! You say that Luke Atme was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright, motive. Might you, my merry murderous motive, manifest? Nick, he's getting his second wind. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Rondolite as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Rondolite. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed, according to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us to what the defendant's motives were? Let's go ahead and save again. I don't know. I thought we were gonna just have to present evidence, like, right now. Like, because, like, the thing is, like, in this game, unfortunately, you cannot save when they ask you to straight up present evidence. Because, like, if you have the court record open, I don't believe that you can actually, like, yeah, you can't while the court record's open, so... it's just one of those things. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us to what the defendant's motives were? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Old-Timer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Okay, another witness testimony, I see. Motive for murder. I, Luke Acme, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate mask to mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Rhonda Light. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Light for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is mask to mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. He was?! Okay. I still think, though, that maybe Atme blackmailed Bullard to blackmail, what, or maybe, I don't know, somehow Luke Atme managed to get his hands on that red gem, so he had to have been there, right? So, okay. Anyway, what? Blackmail letter updated in the court record. Very well, Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. Just when we thought we were in the clear. I actually didn't think that we were in the clear. It felt a little too early, because like you can usually tell when someone's about to break down. And we have had some classic breakdowns before. You know, we had Matt on guard freaking scratching the crap out of his face. I didn't do the playthrough the first game on this series, but you know, what was his name? The guy, the real murderer in the 5th case, the non-canonical case of the first game. That has got to be by far the best breakdown I've ever seen so far. Anyway, I, Luke Atme, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. After doing a thorough background check on Detective Atme and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. Actually, let me go ahead and check. I just realized I should have checked this. Found in Rhonda Light's room, written by Bullard. Touch a check button. Okay. Perhaps they were connected through their work? They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. So the first one was indeed, he said, I, Luke Atme, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate mask to mask and simply mistook who he was. Wait a minute, are you sure about that? Is there any definitive proof that says... Let's check this. All it says is what he stole. It doesn't say who. Who, I'd like if I said who like that. Mistook. That's right, mistook, from the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take an error. That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake mask to mask to be? Why, the answer's obvious. Rhonda Light, of course. Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. Press harder. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for mask to mask? Don't you already know that? Svati! Take a look at this newspaper. Oh, that's a famous tier of eminent, a magnificent jewel. That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant. The defendant! The victim clearly misread this article and Svati! He got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact mask to mask. I see. That was an unusually reasonable deduction. I suppose so. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Rhonda Light. You mean this blackmail letter right here? It says, bring $50,000, and the handwriting is, without a doubt, the victim's. There's no mistake. We have an... The Kodak does not sound like this. There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere. An addressee? This letter was discovered in Rondalight's apartment, and Mr. Light did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. I wonder... What's up, Nick? I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight? Whoa! Do you have any evidence of that? For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? Okay. And it was, again, Mr. Bullet who harbored a grudge against Mr. Light for his betrayal. What do you mean by that? Oh my. I was certain you already knew or were aware. Spotty! KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was the security team chief, I stole data from the company. Kane Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was a thief. Here is a file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't that a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually masked to mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is masked to mask. Do you really think that story is going to hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have here a memo from Rondalight's wife, Desiree Delight. Oh boy. Oh, why are they playing Celebration right? I believe that's what it's called. I believe it's called Celebration. Ronnie thinks he's masked to mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. Perfect impersonation they're good at. Ha! Well, Mr. Trite? Was he trying to act like Miss Delight just now? I thought he was actually pretty convincing. I thought so too, Mai. That is why Mr. Light saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard truly attracted. Wait, are they not going to add that testimony? I guess not. That is why Mr. Light saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. Now that's just your imagination talking. Come now, Sir Lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning. Can we hear that careful reasoning for ourselves? It's a long story, and better saved for another time. Very well, another time. Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least, not in my experience. So you're going to try to connect Detective Atme to Mr. Bullard, right? Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either. In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail. That's true. Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron? Since we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony. Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way. I read all those lines really weird. I don't know, I do that sometimes. I just read lines weird. That's what happens when you do cold reads, ladies and gentlemen, especially cold reads of stuff that you can't even see the entire sentence all the way. Because, like, you know, they have to load the sentence, right? So, like, it's weird. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. I don't know. Cold read is what you call, like, typically, a lot of people in the U.S. when they do voice acting do cold reads. It's when you don't get time to practice a line. You're just given it straight to you, like the day of, and then you're supposed to just read it. Not all North American or U.S. companies do that, but it is what it is. Well, without further ado, I believe now is time for an awkward pause, so I'll see you guys in the next episode.